Greenland belongs to its people.
You don't know what I'm going to do.
Are you going to sleep better at night knowing that we own Greenland?
Yes.
Are you losing?
Yes.
We made it very, very clear that this is not in the interest of the kingdom.
We need Greenland for national security and even international security.
The President of the United States says he is prepared to use force against a NATO ally to take control of a vast Arctic territory, and that territory is Greenland. Hello, I'm Aaron Young and this is Ticker Explains. Donald Trump has declared the United States needs to control Greenland for national security, and his White House has confirmed that every option is on the table, including military force. Greenland is a self-governing territory of Denmark, home to just 58,000 people, but sitting on one of the most strategic, valuable pieces of land on the planet. It lies between North America and Europe, right across the main maritime routes linking the Arctic to the Atlantic, and it contains huge reserves of rare earth minerals, oil and gas buried beneath the ice. Trump claims Russian and Chinese ships are operating near Greenland, threatening American NATO security. But independent ship tracking data shows no such fleet.
It is not a true narrative that we have, Chinese warships all around the place. According to our intelligence, we haven't had a Chinese warship in Greenland for a decade or so.
The Arctic is becoming one of the most contested regions on Earth as melting ice opens new trade routes and access to resources. Greenland already hosts a major US military base as well, which has operated since World War II. The United States already has wide-ranging military access to Greenland and to Denmark under existing defense agreements. But Trump wants something more than access. He wants ownership. So what has driven Donald Trump to revive a 19th century idea in a 21st century world?
Right now, it sounds like you are saying that you would potentially acquire Greenland by force. That would be a NATO country. The United. Are you saying that? Would you do that?
No, you're saying that.
Would you
I
acquire
didn't
them by
say it.
force?
No,
right
you're
now?
telling me that that's what I'm going to do. You don't know what I'm going to do.
Why is it happening? Well, the push for Greenland is rooted in geopolitics, resources and history. Greenland sits across the gap, the sea lanes between Greenland, Iceland and the UK. So whoever controls this corridor can monitor submarines, shipping and missiles moving between the Arctic and the Atlantic. As ice melts, new shipping routes are opening across the Arctic as well. Russia already using them to move oil to China, bypassing Western sanctions. China has labelled itself a near-Arctic state and is investing heavily in polar infrastructure. Under Trump's new national security strategy, the United States has prioritised dominance of the Western Hemisphere and Arctic control. That mindset mirrors the old Monroe Doctrine, where Washington claimed the right to dictate what happens in its strategic backyard. There's also money. Greenland's rare earth minerals are critical for batteries, defence systems and high-tech manufacturing. Controlling them would reduce US dependence on China and give Washington enormous economic leverage. So how has this moved from rhetoric to a real diplomatic crisis?
So it's up to Denmark and Greenland, and only to them, to decide on matters that are concerning Denmark and Greenland. That's point number one, and that's very important. Greenland is part of Nato. And when we are speaking about Arctic security, this is one of the core topics of NATO. And we know that the glue between the allies is the fact that there's always the clear motto, one for all for one.
Why all of this matters? Well, this is not just a dispute over land, it's also a direct challenge to international law and to NATO itself. Denmark is a NATO ally. An American move against Greenland would mean one NATO country threatening another. Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen has also warned that an invasion would effectively end the NATO alliance. Under international law, Greenland cannot be sold or transferred without the consent of both Denmark and the people of Greenland. A poll in January last year showed that 85% of Greenlanders do not want to become part of the United States. That's huge. Now, if Trump were to push ahead anyway, it would shred the principle of self-determination and tell the world the powerful countries can simply take what they want. So why is this so dangerous for global systems?
There is absolutely no legal justification whatsoever to use military force against a NATO ally.
And I've yet to hear from this administration a single thing we need from Greenland that the sovereign people is not ready and willing to grant us.
So what happens next? Well, despite the threats, a military invasion of Greenland does remain unlikely. Congress could use the War Powers Act to block it, and the political cost of destroying NATO would be huge. The more likely path is pressure from the White House. The US could intensify surveillance and influence campaigns inside of Greenland, encouraging independence from Denmark. Now, Washington could then offer a compact of free association, similar to deals it has with Pacific nations like Palau and Micronesia, where countries remain independent but give the US control over defence and security in exchange for money and access to America. That would not give Trump formal ownership of Greenland, but it would give the United States de facto control over its territory, airspace and military future. Whether that is enough for a president who wants to own the world's largest island remains an open question. So where to from here? Greenland's leaders say they are not for sale, and Denmark says international law still applies. Europe closing ranks. But in an Arctic that is thawing fast and becoming richer by the year, the pressure is only going to grow. For more on this, head to the Ticker News website and follow our socials for up-to-the-minute coverage.